विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामिन्निति नामिनी। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिनी। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात्य देशतारिणे। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितमेन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सकगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सकगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पदे गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसूते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ईश्वरा परम कृष्णा सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिरादिर गोविंदा सर्व कारण कारणम। Hare Krishna. By Lord Sri Krishna's causeless mercy, we are nicely studying Bhagavad Gita every day. And we finished 9 slokas in the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So by Krishna's causeless mercy, in this chapter we are understanding more about Krishna himself. Even though the 7th chapter Krishna is revealing about himself, the knowledge of the Absolute, in the 9th chapter also we are understanding more about Krishna, how Krishna is pervading this entire universe, and how all this material nature is entering into Krishna, and it's created, annihilated, prabhavam, pralayam, all such things we are understanding very well in this chapter also. In the 8th chapter also we understood very well. So overall, starting from the 2nd chapter onwards, Krishna is teaching us that we are not the body, we are the soul. In the 1st chapter, only Arjuna spoke. Only Arjuna was giving reasons to Krishna why he should not fight in that battle, even though he did not have any other option. So he was forced to fight. So he didn't want to fight, but he was forced to fight. But at the end, when he understood Bhagavad Gita, he didn't feel the force. So he fought, but he didn't feel that he is forced to fight. He was very happy to fight. So one who felt very helpless, totally helpless and completely confused and not able to decide the next step and not able to know what to do at all, and for such, they're in the middle of the battlefield. It's in the middle of the battlefield. He was completely broken. Arjuna was completely broken in the middle of the battlefield. Arjuna told Krishna that my whole body is trembling, my limbs are quivering, my mouth is drying up, my hairs are standing on end, my bow, Kandiva, is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning. So that was Arjuna's situation. In that kind of situation, he was almost fainting. He told Krishna that my mind is reeling. I am forgetting myself. Brahmatyeva chame manaka. So I am only seeing the causes of misfortune. Nimittani cha pasyami viparitani kesava. So for such a person, in that circumstances, in that situation, was completely confused and broken and didn't know what to do next. And at that point of time, when Krishna revealed this knowledge, this Bhagavad Gita knowledge, when Krishna taught this Bhagavad Gita knowledge to him, and Krishna immediately in the second chapter, Krishna immediately in the very beginning, in the very first sloka itself, Krishna is actually giving the knowledge that we are the soul. We are not the body, we are the soul. So when Arjuna understood that very well, after asking so many questions to Krishna, everything, all questions Arjuna asked to Krishna, they are very important questions. Very, very important questions for which, if Arjuna didn't ask such questions, we will not have this knowledge at all. For example, in one question Arjuna asked, by what one is simple to do sinful activities? We are all forced to commit sins. Nobody can disagree on this. In this material world, everyone is forced to commit sins, everyone is forced to act. Athakena prayittoyam papam charati purusha. Anichyanepi varsneya baladiva niyojitaka. So without my desire, I don't want to commit sins, but I am committing sins. So by what is forcing me to commit sins? So then Krishna answered, it is only Kama and Krodha. It is Kama and Krodha which is born from the Rajoguna. Now we understand from Bhagavad Gita very well that three modes of material nature are very, very powerful and very strong, and they are acting on us because we are letting them to act on us. Because we ourselves voluntarily come under the control of the three modes of material nature. Even though they are very strong and very powerful. Devigi esa gunamayi mama maya duratyaya. Even though the Maya is divine in nature and very powerful and very difficult to overcome, but because we associate with Maya, we identify ourselves with this material body, and we develop so much of attachment to material sense objects. Because of all these reasons, we are letting Maya to control us. In fact, Maya wants us, the three modes of material nature is actually wants us not to get controlled by them. The three modes of material nature is helping us to realize that this material world is temporary, it's miserable, and we need to first of all know about ourselves. We cannot forget ourselves. Because we are simply losing ourselves in this material world. We are simply losing in this material ocean without the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, taking repeated birth, old age, disease and death in this material world, taking repeated material bodies, we are actually losing ourselves in this material pool. The Atma is suffering and struggling. That's what Krishna is repeatedly teaching in Bhagavad Gita. Now, get this knowledge and use this knowledge and control your mind and make your mind as your best friend, and then you will be able to receive mercy from me. Because without controlling the mind, it is impossible to achieve the status of yoga. We know what is yoga. It is the status of equanimity, samatvam. So not getting disturbed by anything in this world. Not getting disturbed by anything in this world. Completely free from all kinds of attachments. So completely free from all kinds of desires, material desires. So if you are not disturbed by anything in this world, so that status is called yoga. So that is the meaning of yoga. We understand very clearly from Bhagavad Gita what yoga means. In the 6th chapter, Krishna, in the Dhyana Yoga, Krishna is teaching us how to get that status, basically, how to control our mind. Our mind should be like a wind in a lamp, like a lamp in a windless place. A lamp in a windless place, it doesn't waver. So, yatha deepo nivartasto nengate sopama smrita. So Deepa, there is a lamp. Yatha Deepo Nivatasto Nengate Sopama Smrita. It doesn't waver. It just burns steadily. So like that, Yogino Yata Chittasya Yunjatho Yogam Atmanagam. The yogis should fix their consciousness, should fix their mind like a lamp in a windless place. So that is the way to achieve yoga. So in order to achieve that yoga, that status of yoga, we need this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. Only with this Bhagavad Gita knowledge only it is possible for us to achieve that status of yoga and go to Krishna. So that's why Krishna is teaching us that you get this knowledge, and then to achieve that yoga, we need to control our mind. So without controlling our mind, we cannot achieve that status of yoga. Asamyatat mano yogo, asamyatat mana yogo dusprapa itime mati. So without controlling our mind, it is not possible to become ourselves equal in both success and failure without controlling our mind. So that's what Krishna is saying very clearly. Asamyatat. Asamyatat mano yoga. Asamyatat means there is no doubt. So if you can't control the mind, that is what asamyatat. Asamsayam means there is no doubt. So just in the previous sloka in the 6th chapter, Krishna says it asamsayam. Asamsayam, then in the next sloka, Krishna is saying it asamya. Asamsayam, asamya. Asamsayam means there is no doubt. So, asamsayam mahabaho mano durnigraham chalam. So, there is no doubt that it is very difficult to control the mind. There is no doubt. But also, the fact is that without controlling the mind, we cannot achieve the status of yoga. Asamyatat mano yogo dusprapa itime mati. So it's difficult to control the mind, but without controlling the mind, we cannot become a yogi. So that means without controlling the mind, without becoming a yogi, we cannot get out of this material world. We cannot break this bondage to birth and work in this material world without becoming a yogi. So all these things are interlinked. All these things are interconnected. This entire knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So that's why there are nothing like different yogas, different paths. We need to understand everything is same. So getting the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and understanding Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and focusing our mind on Krishna and controlling our mind and making our mind as our best friend, and then we will be able to achieve the status of yoga. So that means we will become a yogi, and once we are a yogi, then we will be liberated from this material bondage. We'll go to Krishna as well. So for that, we need the complete knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Because we are directly listening from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Because in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is talking with us directly. Krishna is giving all the knowledge what we need. So we know his expectations very well. So we need to exceed Krishna's expectations. That means we should know the knowledge completely. All the entire Bhagavad Gita fully we should know. And we should apply. So that way, Arjuna is asking so many nice questions. And he is asking about what is Brahma, what is Adhyatma, Adibhuta, Adideva, Adiyajna, and Prakriti, Purusham, Kshetram, Kshetrajna, Jnanam, Nyeya. So like that, so many questions Arjuna is asking, and all these questions we need to understand. And scientifically, because Bhagavad Gita is a science, our body, material body is made up of matter. Whereas the spirit, the soul is not made up of matter. So that way, material body can be destroyed. But the spirit, the soul cannot be destroyed. So na hanyate hanyamani sarir. So being ourselves, the spirit, the soul, and now we need to get this knowledge fully and connect with the super soul with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So then only janma mrityu jara dukkhi vimukto amritam asnute. then only we will be able to free ourselves from this birth, old age, disease and death. So Krishna is teaching about the three modes of material nature very well in the 14th chapter. And Arjuna asks a question. What are the symptoms of a person who is freed from the three modes of material nature? Very important question. We need to know. Because our goal is to become ourselves free from the three modes of material nature. Krishna simply said that anyone who thinks that nothing other than the three modes of material nature are doing everything is freed from the three modes of material nature. Nanyam gunebhyah kartaram yatha drashtan pasyati gunebhyascha param veti madbhavam sodikachyat. So, but how to think like that? How to think that only three modes of material nature are doing everything, not ourselves? So that is possible only when we get this full knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, when we are able to see everything through the eyes of this Bhagavad Gita. Then only we will be able to see how three modes of material nature are acting actually. If someone is very angry, there is some reason why that person is angry. Because that person is attached to something. If that person was not attached to that thing, he won't be angry at all. So if we are not attached to anything in this material world, we will never get angry at all. We'll never get angry. That's why that means we are freed from anger, krodha. And when we are not attached to anything in this material world, then there is no fear at all. We don't have to worry about anything. When we are attached, then only we are fearing that we are going to lose that. We are even afraid of death. That is because we are attached to things in this material world. That's why we are afraid of death. So Bhaya and Krodha. So Bhaya and Krodha comes because of attachment. If there is no attachment to this material sense objects, or if there is no attachment in this material world, then there is no need to fear about anything, and there is no need to worry about anything, and also we will never ever get angry at all. So now the question is that how that is going to be possible? Because it has to be practical. So how is it practical? So it is very much possible. It's very much possible just by gaining this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Because with this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita only, we are able to understand about ourselves and understand about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna also in detail, very well, at length. We know how Krishna is the Supreme Person. So that way, we will be able to develop that loving relationship with Krishna. Because our mind will get attachment towards Krishna. Our mind will find attraction towards Krishna. When we are attracted to Krishna, then our mind will not have any time to remember about the sense objects. Because when our mind finds happiness and satisfaction in remembering Krishna, in serving Krishna, always glorifying Krishna, so then we will not find any time to worry, to think about this material sense objects, to worry about anything in this material world. So we will not find any time to worry at all. So that is the way to get ourselves freed from this material bondage. That means tyaktva karma pala sangam. So we will be able to give up attachment to all the results. So that is possible only if we taste, if we relish the taste of Krishna consciousness. So param drishva nivartade. Rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishva nivartade. So we will be able to enjoy that Krishna consciousness with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita only. Because only with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita we are able to connect ourselves with Krishna. So that way, this knowledge is very, very important knowledge which is going to take us to Krishna's well. This is the boat of knowledge. So this is Jnana Plaveneva, with which we can cross beyond the ocean of material miseries. Vrijanam Samtarisyasi. So that way, to realize and understand that Krishna is all powerful. Krishna is the Maheswara. Krishna is the Parameswara. And Krishna is the Yogeswara, the master of all mystics. And Krishna is the Deva Deva Jagatpadi. That's what Arjuna says. Deva Deva, Devadi Deva. Krishna is the God of gods, Lord of gods. And Krishna is everything. Krishna is the resting place. So that's what we get from this knowledge, from this Bhagavad Gita. Then we will be able to accept without any confusion and with full faith, without any enviousness, we will be able to accept that Krishna is everything in our life. So that way when we start doing everything as an offering unto Krishna, then we will not have any time to worry, any time to think about the material sense objects. So we will leave everything to Krishna. We will completely depend on Krishna at all times, at all circumstances. So we will fully depend only on Krishna only. So that's what we are doing. That's why we are getting this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita every day. Because we are having so much faith. Because of that, Krishna is able to create this opportunity. Krishna is able to give this opportunity for us to get this knowledge. So this is the most confidential knowledge. And this is the king of knowledge. We don't have to go anywhere. We don't have to spend even a single penny. We don't have to pay any fees. And it's just very easy to get admitted. Just having that faith upon Krishna. But what we are going to accomplish with this knowledge, when we get this knowledge, we are going to get peace of mind and we are going to get happiness. Because in this material world, we have to spend a lot of money to buy a lot of things. Everything becomes very expensive. Over a period of time, everything gets even more expensive and we have to work hard to get all these things in this material world. But the end result is that we won't be happy. We will be disturbed in mind all the time. We won't be satisfied with whatever material things we get actually. Even if we try to satisfy ourselves, our dependents, our relatives, nobody else will be satisfied. So then we will keep working. We'll keep going, running after the material sense objects. And that way we will be simply losing this human life. But if we have this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, then if we fully depend on Krishna, then if we just work for Krishna and do everything for Krishna, then we are going to get what we want. We are going to get what we need because Krishna is going to supply everything to us. But ultimately what we are going to get is the peace of mind. We are going to get that happiness. So that's why this Bhagavad Gita is very, very important knowledge we need to study. So now in the 9th chapter, we are studying, we finished 9 slokas in the 9th chapter. And Krishna said, in the last sloka what we studied, Krishna said that even though I came to this material world, even though I am doing so many activities in this material world, but nothing is binding me. That's what Krishna says. Because first of all, there is no work for Krishna to do in all the 3 worlds. Name pata asti kartavyam trishu lokesu kinchana. And also Krishna need not obtain anything by doing any work. Nanavaptam avaptavyam vartayeva cha karmani. But Krishna is so much merciful that he wants to serve us. He is waiting to serve us. So it is not that every time when we say we have to serve Krishna, we have to serve Krishna. It is not only that we have to serve Krishna, but Krishna is also serving us. It is not that we are worshipping Krishna. Krishna is also worshipping us. Ye yata mam prabatyante tam stataiva bhajami aham. To the extent one surrenders unto me, to that extent I also worship him. Bhajami aham. So bhajami means worshipping. Bhajami aham means I worship. So Krishna is serving us. Krishna wants to serve us. That's why he was driving Arjuna's chariot. Krishna was the charioteer. So that way we need to acknowledge that Krishna is ready to help us. Krishna is ready to serve us. So now with that kind of understanding, we need to recognize this fact and then we need to actually submit ourselves unto Krishna lovingly. Lovingly, if we submit ourselves unto Krishna, surrender ourselves unto Krishna, because this love cannot be one way. So love cannot be one way, then it is not love. Actually, Krishna is loving us so much. Krishna is loving us so much that Krishna came here, Krishna gave this knowledge, and Krishna is there in our heart, and Krishna is guiding us. Krishna wants to help us, all such things. But if we don't love Krishna, if we don't reciprocate, then that means we are putting ourselves in trouble. So that's what is happening to us in this material world. So in the next sloka, Krishna is teaching us in the 9th chapter, 10th sloka, very, very clearly Krishna is teaching us there. Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetunanena kaunteya jagat viparivartate. Mayadhyakshena prakriti. Mayadhyakshena prakritihi suyate sacharacharam hetunanena kaunteya jagat viparivartate. So adhyakshena means under my direct supervision. That's why under my direction, under my direct supervision. Mayadhyakshena. Mayadhyakshena means under my supervision, my direct supervision. This prakriti, this nature, this material nature is actually both moving and non-moving. Chara and achara. Chara is the moving and achara means it is non-moving. So both moving and non-moving, everything in this material world, material nature is actually working under my directions. So hetuna nena kaunteya. So jagat viparivartade. Jagat means this world. So in this world, this universe, everything, this cosmic manifestation, everything is working under my direct supervision. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina. That's what Krishna said in the 4th sloka we studied in the 9th chapter. Mayadhyakshena. So there Krishna said that Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murti. So that way Krishna is pervading this entire universe. And under Krishna's direct supervision, this whole universe, this whole world, everything is working under his supervision. So we cannot say that there is no God in control. Only the demons say that. The demons. Krishna is saying that very well in the 16th chapter when we study about the divine and demoniac natures, how the demons think. Krishna is very clearly saying that. Asatyam apratishtam te jagadagugu aniswaram aparaspara sambhutam kimanyate kamahaitukam. That's what the demons think. They say that this world is unreal. Asatyam. Apratishtam. There is no foundation. So that's why asatyam apratishtam. Jagat agugu aniswaram. This world is made and there is no controller. This Jagat Agugu Aniswaram, there is no controller. So there is no God in control. That's what the demons say. So the demons say that this world is unreal, there is no foundation and there is no God in control. So asatyam apradishtam te Jagat Agugu Aniswaram aparaspara sambhutam kimanyat kama haitukam. So it just appeared itself. That's what our so-called scientists, they say it is all by chance. How can we say that everything is by chance here? Everything, our material, this world, our body, if we look at our body, even in our cell, there's so much mechanisms happening inside our cell that cannot just happen by chance. So the probability is almost negligible to happen like that. So we need to understand everything is happening, everything is by Krishna's arrangement, Krishna's design. See, we have cells in our body, our stomach, it won't get burnt by our acid, which has a pH value of only about 2. But if anywhere else, if that acid comes up, for example, if it comes into our esophagus, then we get that heartburn. So that way, everything is very nicely designed by Krishna's arrangement. So we have got this perfect tool, this human body, excellent tool actually. It's yantra, excellent machine. That's why Krishna is saying that it is yantra. Yantra means it's a machine. Isvara sarvabhutanam. So Krishna is there in everyone's heart. Brahmayan sarvabhutani yantrarudani maya. Isvara sarvabhutanam hridaya sajjuna tistati Brahmayan sarvabhutani yantrarudani maya. So the soul is using this body as a machine. So yantra. So we need to use this machine very effectively so that we can get out of this material world. Otherwise, we'll keep coming back to this material world and we will keep suffering. We will keep coming back and suffer in this material world forever. So by Krishna's causeless mercy, we finished the 10th sloka in the 9th chapter today. And I will stop now and we will discuss if any questions are there. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji. We don't have any questions, but there are many new devotees and regular devotees as well joined.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
The whole discourse is so interesting, so soothing. It goes straight to the heart. And you feel a sort of ecstasy when you listen to the Bhagavad Gita. Is it true for everybody, all the devotees? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for sharing your experience. I'm sure it is definitely true for everyone. That's why all of us are joining every day and we are studying Bhagavad Gita, Prabhu. So definitely, it is Susukam Kartam, Prabhu. That's what Krishna is saying that. Sukam means happy, Susukam means very, very happy. So we are definitely when we realize about ourselves, when we realize about the Supreme God, Sri Krishna, who is seated in our heart, and we are able to connect with our own loved Lord, it brings us so much happiness. There is no doubt about it. This is the real happiness. Thank you for sharing your experience, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji. I see a name, Vinisha. Vinisha, I think you're joining recently. I'll unmute you so that you can get.
Sai Lavanya only. Prabhu.
Oh, okay, Guruji. So, yeah.
Yes, Guruji. Good morning, Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. How are you, Vinisha?
Fine, Guruji.
So very nice, very nice. So you understood today everything today?
Yes, Guruji.
Very nice, very nice. So yeah, you are able to read Krishna book. I know your mother told me you are finding it difficult to read, but I need to find out some smaller books for you. I will let you know. Okay,
Yes,
Vinisha?
Yes, Guruji. Guruji, I have read one. I have a book of Krishna and the fruit vendor.
Oh yeah, very nice. So you read that book?
Yes, Guruji.
You want to tell that story?
Yes, Guruji.
Yeah, please.
Once upon a time, Krishna was playing at his home with a ball or something. And then a fruit vendor came out and has shouted, fruits, fruits, buy fruits, buy fruits. And with the Krishna's small hands, he took some grains and kept on go out and asked it, can you give me this full of fruits? I will give you those grains. With that small hand, he has poured the grains, and the fruit vendor is seeing only Krishna with his beautifulness. And then after Krishna took all the fruits and went to his home, the grains has been gone with gold, and the fruit vendor is only seeing Krishna and went home, be happy.
Hare Krishna. Excellent, Vinisha. Very nicely you narrated that story. Very nicely, very nicely. So, yeah, very good. So please keep reading all this Krishna story. Krishna will give you what all you want. Okay.
Okay, Guruji.
Very nice. Hare Krishna, Vinisha. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji. It is so nice to hear from Vinisha. Thank you to Sai Lavanya as well. I'll unmute Annie Thakkar.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Mataji, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
I must say how wonderful it is to hear from Pradisha.
Yes, yes.
It just is so heartwarming to see her love of Krishna.
It's definitely true, Mataji. You know, so many devotees, Krishna is at this age, is so much Krishna conscious. Definitely, Krishna will help. So that's what we need to now make so many devotees like Vinisha, Mataji. So that will definitely make us actually to go to Krishna. Actually, help us to go to Krishna.
Well, the gentleman earlier also said, talking about studying the Gita, hearing about the Gita and the feeling of ecstasy. And I must share with you that in the short couple of weeks that since I've been coming, it's every night I feel like I'm falling more in love with Krishna every night.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, there is no doubt about it, Mataji. When we study Bhagavad Gita, and especially I also recommend Srimad Bhagavatam. I recently found like a YouTube link where all the Srimad Bhagavatam, the translations were recited. Basically, it's very nice. You can. I will try to share it in our group. So it is. We will fall so much in love with Krishna, Mataji. That's the main.
Oh, good, good. Well, I don't have any questions. I just wanted to share that. This is really changing my life, and I thank you. Thank you, Guruji.
Thanks to Krishna, Krishna's mercy, we all will be able to serve Krishna better. Like this is giving us every day. It is giving us so much happiness at this time. So that is Krishna's mercy. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji.
Since you revise other chapters with ongoing shloka, which nicely connects us with Shri Krishna and Bhagavad Gita. I thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Dhanyavad.
Krishna's mercy.
No questions. Thank you.
So you said you are from Bangalore or Pune?
No, Pune.
Yeah, I remember. Copy all that messages and send it to me, Prabhu, because it comes to your chat, correct? So,
Yes, Guruji. Sure.
By her bhakti, and it's a great motivation for all of us. Yeah,
Yes,
I have
ma'am.
understood. Yeah, thank you so much,
Thank you,
brother. Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I will definitely, Amar Chitra Katha I will share with Vinisha. Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji.
And like she is so much enlightened, and she will be very good if she continues. It will be very good. And I think yesterday someone joined from Mumbai, and she also told about her daughter, that people are very grounded and they know about their root. So I wish I would have learned it in my childhood, but I started now. It's a long way to go. Thank you, sir. You are teaching us and you are showing us the path.
Yes, Prabhu. We will definitely make sure. That's what we need to give this opportunity to all the children. So this is a real opportunity for us to serve Krishna. So also we should thank Sai Lavanya Mataji, who is giving her daughter this kind of opportunity. Correct? So all the parents, that's what we should educate the parents and educate the children. So then that means Krishna's mercy. We will be able to all of us can please Krishna very much, Prabhu. Krishna's mercy. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, sir. No questions, sir, today. Thank you.
I have no questions today.
And only thing is we have to find time and read it again and again, and then we will be able to understand these things. And thank you very much. I have been forwarding our group link to our friends,
Yes,
because without any intention, only pure to teach Bhagavad Gita is the only intention in this platform. So I'm forwarding it to all our friends and groups.
Our goal is very set. It's very much set. It's only teaching Bhagavad Gita only. So that way Krishna is very much pleased actually with our service, Prabhu. What you are doing is very nice service to Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah. But I am wondering that I am 47, 48 years now. Till now, we could not get that opportunity in the land of our country because it's our only spiritual book, and this much time has been passed away without interacting to that book. How it could be, I could not really aware our things were diverted, and but still we are lucky enough to have you as our teacher, our guru, and we will try to give this opportunity at the early stages of the people so that they will be enlightened from the beginning.
That's very important, but what you said is very correct, because if we are able to give this knowledge to each and every village and town and cities everywhere, if they get this opportunity to study Bhagavad Gita at a very young age, so the next generation is going to be so many devotees of Krishna, Prabhu. That's what our goal. We should do that. So then the entire world will be full of Krishna's devotees actually. So that means this is a science. That's the main thing. Everyone has to accept the modern so-called colleges or universities. They just think that this is just a philosophy and things like that. So we have to somehow Krishna's mercy. Krishna is teaching us very nicely the way he taught to Arjuna, and we will make use of this opportunity. And already we are seeing the result. Like Vinisha, and there is also another girl, Deepa. She's also studying 3rd or 4th grade. I believe that she was already started memorizing the slokas in the Tamil Bhagavad Gita class she attends every day. So like that, I'm very happy to see like parents are taking interest in giving this knowledge to the children. That's the main thing. So it will definitely Krishna will do a lot of miracles through us, Prabhu. All these things are happening, all these wonders, miracles, Krishna's mercy, it will happen, Prabhu. We will, but only time is running out. We need to do as much as possible, as soon as possible. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji. I will try to unmute Lakshmana Gowda one more time. Lakshmana Gowda.
Hare classes. So currently my condition is a little tough to attend all the live classes. So whatever the YouTube links are coming, just every links I'm watching daily. So today you are talking about the becoming completely an immaterial. So currently, if you see the most of, I can say 80% of the world is of material dependent. So how can you make that completely independent of the material? Means how can they become independent by reading with Bhagavad Gita? How can they become completely independent of material? Because except the service sector, so I can say rest all the things is depends on material only. Means where depends means where they are dealing with the material and they are thinking about the material. So to grow in their life. So how can we make them independent?
That is only by giving up the attachment to the results only, Prabhu. So that's what means independent of the material things. Means not having any attachment to the results. So that is possible. In each and every activity, whatever we do, if we give the results to Krishna, if we know very well that those results don't belong to us, that is the main thing. First thing we need to understand that we only have the right to do our duty, but we don't have the right over the results. That's what Krishna is saying. Karmanyeva adhikaraste. Adhikara means power, right. You have the right to perform your duty. But karmanyeva adhikaraste ma palesu kadasana. You don't have the right over the results. That's what Krishna is saying. Ma palesu kadasana. If you realize that all the results belong to Krishna, so Krishna is the Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam. Krishna is the supreme enjoyer of all the results. If you understand that fact, then we can do our duty. Still, we can do our duty, but we will not be attached to the results. That means we won't be disturbed by the results. So that is possible. When Arjuna was able to fight in the battlefield without expecting results, then whatever here, more than 100%, we can do everything without affected by the results, bro. You understand that, bro?
Yes, understood, Guruji.
Very nice, bro. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji.
I think she's now he's connected. Okay,